What's going on, guys? Evan the Enthusiast here, proudly presenting a slew of channel updates in addition to providing an overview of everything that's going on in the Egoxeno channel, the Enthusiast's background from beginning to end, and going to try to do everything in my power to map out where this channel is going so people can decide if they want to stay subscribed and things like that. This has been an extended period of inactivity for me due to a variety of factors I'm actually going to get into in this video, and for a change I'm actually going to lay out a stabilized projection on what's going to happen on this channel so people can know, exactly what they want to know, and I can sort of follow my own guidelines for exactly what I want to do in the coming months and in the next coming years, because for the first time I'm in a position where I can predict how the next couple of years of my life are going to go, barring something tragic or strange. So I'm going to sort of walk you guys down the laundry list of things I'm going to talk specifically about in this video, and if this is the kind of thing that interests the listeners and viewers, then they can stick around. I do want to put up there up front, I'm going to talk about Dark Souls and its thing on this channel, how that works, but anyway, jumping right into it, I want to talk about channel updates, exactly what I'm hoping to bring to this channel in the next 2 months, and then after the 2 months, because there's going to be a huge difference in the contents delivered in the first 2 months versus the contents delivered after those first 2 months. So, and I'll elaborate on the reasons for that as we continue. But anyway, with where we are right now, I'm going to talk about where I am in my life, geographically as well as professionally, and all those sort of things, where my schooling is, and all that kind of stuff. These are the things that have sort of traveled with this channel since its inception. Not entirely, but for the most part, as long as I've considered this a serious venture on YouTube. I don't mean a venture for capital gain so much as just a venture that I was actually intending to project time and money into and things like that. So the overall updates of the things that are becoming immediately in the next 2 months and thereon after, I want to lay out the past of this channel, how it got started, where it's going, how it's continued, things like that, just so the people that came in a couple years after its inception or here from the beginning can get a reminder, or people that are actually really new can have a good understanding of where I'm coming from, where I'm going, and the kind of content I like to deliver, and the kinds of content I have been delivering versus the kind of content I want to deliver, things like that, etc. So a lot of things I want to touch on, and lastly I want to wrap this commentary up with what's going to come in the future, what I'm projecting to do, and why I'm in a position to deliver on a lot of promises for once, where in the past I was really in a position to promise anything. So I'm going to lay all that out, and I haven't done sort of a real talk commentary in a long time. It's been a lot of live Dota 2, so I used to feel really out of my element on live commentaries, and now I feel really out of my element on post-game commentaries. And not to mention I'm in a very odd place to be recording right now. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get started into the first topic, and that is the immediate updates and what's been going on and what I'm hoping to bring. So, first item of business on the laundry list is I am hoping to, and of course I took notes for this because this is probably going to be a fairly lengthy commentary, and I wanted to actually sort of lay out what I would talk about as I went so I didn't lose track of anything, because I don't want to upload these videos too often. I think more than a channel updates discussion more than once a month is just overkill, so I do plan to release a channel updates video once a month. But anyway, first and foremost, I am currently in the Black Hills of South Dakota. For those of you who don't live in the United States or aren't familiar with South Dakota, which is just to everyone, the Black Hills is a beautiful stretch of the American landscape. It has some famous places like Mount Rushmore, Deadwood, the Badlands. I'm actually centrally located around all those things right now. I'm actually at Crazy Horse Memorial, which sits 15, 20 minutes how fast you drive on the roads you take out to Mount Rushmore. So that's kind of the general gist of where I am. And a couple of particular caveats come with being out in this area right now that are disruptive of the gameplay commentary, and one of those is I have absolutely wretched internet right now. And I've always had wretched internet. That's something that's characterized this channel and something that I've raged about for years, because I'm a professional that works within the realm of higher education, which we'll talk more about later. I'm not in a position to choose my own ISP. I have to work with the ISPs that are provided to me at wherever I'm employed. Right now, I am on a temporary 2-month contract before I start my primary 10-month contract, and as a result, I've got really atrocious internet. I actually have to do my YouTube uploads at like a Wi-Fi hotspot, and the only Wi-Fi hotspots, you see, South Dakota is not densely populated, so the nearest city is maybe 7 miles away, and it's pretty much a hole. I think the total population is 1,200 people-ish, and there's not a lot going on. It's basically a tourist trap, so I'm gonna basically pull into McDonald's and order a double cheeseburger and sit there like a fool, munching on my cheeseburger while my stuff uploads. So I really am not in a position to upload anything more than once or twice a week. I'm really going to struggle to do twice a week. It's going to be tough. I at least want to do like 3 uploads every 2 weeks. That way the channel starts to pick up momentum again, because there's been an extended period of pretty lackluster updates. Picked up a lot there of Dota 2, but unfortunately nobody really wants to watch Dota 2, or at least very few people. So that was a big disheartening for me, and I decided I need to step back, take a break from the YouTube thing to reinvent it a little bit and take a look at what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to go, and what I'm going to build into. And we'll get into a lot of that here coming up, but that's kind of what has been less content. That, and I was actually graduating from graduate school in Ohio here, wrapping things up with my Master's of Higher Education degree, Master's of Education. Graduate with honors, did very well, concentrations in Higher Education Administration, so I'm looking to be a college official for the rest of my life, and I was fortunate to land a position in the first wave of hirings, which I think goes to show a tribute. I'm now at a flagship school in the United States. For those of you that aren't familiar with the higher education system in the United States, there's state schools. These are schools that are supported by direct state subsidy, i.e. these are typically your Ohio State. Yeah, that's pretty much the best one I think. The Ohio State, University of Nebraska, anything in the University of Wisconsin system, etc., etc. Ferris State in Michigan, I could go on. Basically, any school that's receiving direct state dollars is a state school. And, it's typically harder to get hired into state schools than it is to get hired into private schools. A private school is an institution that does not receive direct state subsidy. The students attending the institution are eligible to receive financial aid, things like that. So basically all of higher education, no matter what school you're in, receives some kind of federal or state dollars, but the difference is direct versus not direct. That's the easiest way to keep track of it, is basically the funding model. With that said, it's not completely, that's not really the end of the discussion. I mean, there's a lot more to a state school regulatory wise, and they tend to be a little more inexpensive as compared to a private. Privates offer a very specialized thing depending on the outlook of that private, but fundamentally they're all accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, and when I say accreditation, it means a committee comes and looks at a school's coursework and ensures that the professors and the programs are actually teaching things students need to know to gain meaningful employment and knowledge about the world. In case you're ever wondering, that's what it takes to be an institution, really, is accreditation, at least to offer majors and minors. There are for-profit schools and things like that. And I'd like to, some people get this confused. A private school does not mean for-profit. Most private schools are overwhelmingly non-profit. Public, just like state schools, are also not-for-profit. But for-profit schools are a completely different animal that I don't really plan to get into in this commentary, or I really don't want to get into a huge dissertation about the education system, but future updates, uploads I'm going to do will definitely talk more about the education system, because I want to share my knowledge about things I know outside of games. That's always been a hallmark of this channel, at least it used to be until I kind of got out of it, but that's definitely something I'm going to get back into, so I don't know if that's classified as quote-unquote like real talk or what that is, but it's coming back, so if that's not really your thing, then you might want to skip those uploads. I'm going to start tagging the videos I upload in the future with some sort of descriptor for what's going to be going on, or at least I'll put in the description so people know exactly what they're going to be listening to, and things like that. So anyway, getting back to my current situation geographically, since I'm out in the Black Hills and I have that lousy internet and just not in a position to upload frequently, it's going to be rough there for a while. So for the first 2 months, there's going to be a lot of different kinds of updates to the channel going on. I've just switched to the new YouTube letters. I haven't even got around to snippet channel banner. I haven't got around to updating the Egoxeno GIF. I have to get a new intro, new outro. Basically, I want new thumbnails. From this point forward, I want to start modernizing the things that I put out. I want to put out a new video intro, a new video outro. I want to do an extended trailer for the channel. I want to update at least yearly. I want to do a banner. I want to sort of No, I'm kind of a fan of the owl, so I'm definitely going to do an owl theme for the stuff I do. Get some theme music, maybe. I don't know. Basically, I want to theme this channel out and brand it a little better. I just haven't had time before then, and I want to get back to the Facebook updates. Basically, I want to bring back all the little nuances of running a channel I've let, slide under the radar. Basically, when you start a YouTube channel, at least from my perspective as a small channel, the first thing you do is just start focusing on creating your content. Doing your commentaries, if you're commentating, getting your gameplay, putting them together, and getting your equipment, things like that. That's kind of where I think all YouTube channels start, and then people start wanting to move into bigger things, like finding a partnership so they don't have to constantly fight with copyright claims, make a little money on the side. I think secretly most YouTube commentators do plan to become huge, enormous channels, whether they admit it or not. Now that I'm a little older, not that I'm much older, but it's been several years since I started this channel, probably about 4 years since this channel originally opened, give or take. The frequency of uploads and stuff have varied over the years, but definitely 4 years ago is when this channel started. And when the channel started, my thing was I'll just be a COD channel, probably won't be that successful, but if I pick up, that'd be pretty sweet. And I was an undergraduate student. I think all undergraduate students are looking for work, whether they realize it or not, particularly if you're like me and you live in the United States and the economy was starting to tank and it only got worse, and you were in a recession and you thought, man, this YouTube thing looks like a gold mine. Nowadays, the YouTube commentary thing as a full-time job looks like it's dying, really, which is for the better. I found what I consider to be more meaningful employment where I can do this on the side for basically pennies a month kind of thing. And the biggest thing about me for having a partnership was not so much securing revenue as securing safety. When you upload gameplay commentary, you are in a position for copyright claims, and the worst would be just losing your whole channel overnight to a slew of copyright claims from a game developer. Excuse me, I've got water in my throat, is getting a little sore, but in order to prevent that, getting a partnership, with TGN or Machinima or whoever you get on with, if you can get on with anybody, most of them have requirements, is a good way to keep that from happening. And of course, you can always partner with YouTube, but directly, it was last I checked, but I heard partnering with quote-unquote YouTube directly is pretty awful. And I just mean like monetizing videos. I don't mean having a true alliance with the YouTube. Like, some commentators or video producers used to get in direct partnerships with YouTube where they're actually partnered with YouTube itself as opposed to being with like a third-party Machinima-esque entity. So I don't mean like that. I just mean utilizing Social Blade and stuff like that to get some ads on your videos and keep them protected from copyright claims. But anyway, I'll move on. I'm kind of going off my rubric and back on it, so we're going to hop around a little bit, but that's kind of the norm when you're doing these enormous "this is who I am" type commentaries. But anyway, yeah, so updates for the channel in the next 2 months. We're looking at 1 to 2 uploads a week. We want huge graphical overhauls, which I'm working on right now. I just got Photoshop, so I'm still learning it, but I'm very comfortable with computers, and I'm not trying to do something amazing. I haven't even decided the intro style I want to go with. I actually am a huge fan of the old intro that Flesh Mechanic helped me put together. Shoutouts to Flesh Mechanic, which was basically just stolen images from some anime and some music and things like that, splashed over clips. But I was always afraid I'd start losing my videos to copyright claims since, those were images and music from a TV show. I was always so concerned that someone would come and claim a copyright. It hasn't happened since, and I suppose it still could, but I wanted all my new content to be risk-free of any kind of copyright claim. I still do, so we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to have to do a new intro, probably a very short outro. I want to start watermarking my videos because surprisingly a couple of my Dark Souls videos have been stolen, or not really stolen, but re-uploaded by folks and putting their own commentary on it. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of that. It wasn't a huge deal, and they didn't make any money on it, neither did I. Nobody was making any money, but I want to start after that 2-month hiatus where I can only upload like once to twice a week at best, and I just don't have the internet for it. I don't want to go down to McDonald's with my laptop all the time to upload, guys. And I'm only in a position where I can play single-player games right now. I actually cannot play large multiplayer games. My internet is crap. My ping on Dota 2, which is where I decided to test, was over 800. I think I had like a 1-bar connection on COD. It was that's COD is Call of Duty. It was rough. I mean, it's just not happening. So it has to be single player. So I am currently, if anyone watching this video, please, 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 I promise I will read it. I'm back to reading all the comments and responding to all the comments, at least on the new stuff. I don't know if I'm going to go back and respond to all the comments on the old Dark Souls videos, but I need good single-player games. True single-player, no element is multiplayer, strict single-player games I can get on, do some commentaries off, preferably not live, where I can just jump on some comms, hit it up, and give you guys some content and start getting back into the post-commentary mode, bringing this channel, talking about some different topics, some real-life topics, some gaming topics. As always, I've got a lot on my mind, and since I've moved over 17 hours from my quote-unquote ancestral home in the United States, I'm in a position where having an audience I can't see feels really good again. So, I'm all about bringing that stuff back. So hopefully we can get that going, ASAP. So right now the single-player games I'm looking at are Skyrim, Dark Souls, The Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Faster Than Light. I am taking suggestions. I'll play just about anything except strategy. I don't really want to commentate RTS. I like RTS, but I hate commentating RTS. So that's kind of where that is. I already talked about adding some new graphics and things. If anybody wants to volunteer their time, please let me know. I particularly need help with setting up a good intro. It doesn't have to be long, or a channel trailer. The channel trailer is going to be last because that's the most daunting of tasks. I still haven't even decided the style I want to do these things in. So if anybody wants to private message me or just get in touch with me, and maybe we can just bounce ideas off each other, any sort of help would be appreciated right now. I'm pretty much flying blind, but anyway, let's move on. That's kind of the immediate channel updates. So not probably an upload to 2 a week right now, and I'm gonna bust my butt driving down to McDonald's to make it happen, guys. I really want people to get some faith back in this channel, get some views going again, and I'm willing to play some games people want to see, like Dark Souls, to make that happen. But that said, I can't become like a one-trick pony channel. I can't be 500 Dark Souls videos and nothing else. I think it's ironic. I once uploaded a Modern Warfare 3 COD video during my sort of Dark Souls heyday, and everyone started to pop out of the woodwork like, how dare you upload COD? It's the most uploaded crappy game in the world, and I agree with that, but it's ironic that people make fun of like the all COD channel, but I was kind of an all Dark Souls channel there. I had done some Armored Core for Answer stuff and some very old, dated crap Black Ops stuff, so I guess it's just sort of the bias, even in the subscribers as well as myself, is just self-evident in situations like that. But moving right along, I want to get into the past of this channel and how this all got started, and I'm gonna do like a no holds barred from memory, just give everything I can right from the soul. I don't want to say from the heart. It's more just from the brain and from my memory and how I remember thinking when I did it, and some things I realized later, and etc. So I started the channel in 2009, which was my sophomore year of undergraduate college. I was studying psychology, political science, and religion and philosophy. I was studying religion and philosophy for pleasure. I was studying psychology for backup, and I was studying political science with the intention of becoming an attorney. So that was kind of the plan. Grades were going well, everything was great. I was in a good spot in my life. I had a girlfriend I guess at the time was probably, I don't want to say in love with, but definitely was very happy to be with, and things were really good. And I had been watching a lot of Call of Duty videos. I was just trying to get better at Call of Duty, and that's also the time that Black Ops 1 was the newest COD, and that was COD we were playing. And frankly, I loved Call of Duty Black Ops 1. I still love Call of Duty Black Ops 1. If I had to play a COD game for another full set of prestiges, it would be Black Ops 1 over and over again. I can't stand Black Ops 2. I can't stand Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 2 was busted, etc., etc. So I used to be an avid COD player. Black Ops 1 was my game, and I played it a lot, and that's kind of where I advanced from being god-awful at Call of Duty to being decent at Call of Duty to being well above average at Call of Duty. You can look back at my Black Ops stuff, and I was rewatching some of it, and while it's not, phenomenal gameplay, considering I was usually playing with all greens, which means not playing with party members. I was playing solo, as I often do when I game. It was just me versus the world kind of thing, and I thought I was doing really well, putting up great scores without huge streaks, and then putting up even bigger scores with big streaks, and clutch and search and destroy games. And for those of you who don't play COD, this probably all sounds like a foreign language, but essentially I was a very proficient Call of Duty Black Ops player, and I was watching some of the Call of Duty commentary. I'm not going to name any names, and I'm not trying to start any drama, but I thought some of the big Call of Duty commentators were frankly god-awful. It's one of those things where you see people that are really doing something, you don't think they're very good, and you think you can do better. You're not always actually can. It's actually very hard to commentate. This is a huge struggle for me right now, even to generate this content. This is just kind of flying from the chest kind of thing. So it's a lot harder than it sounds being a gameplay commentator. Now, I don't think doing it professionally is hard work once you get adapted to it on a daily basis, but when you're trying to hold jobs and do everything else in your life, I think it's challenging. I do, and it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely something you should be doing for pleasure, because the odds of making a living off it are very slim. These are all things I knew when I went in. I just didn't know how hard it would be to commentate. Now I know. Now I'm completely knowledgeable about how hard it is to commentate, and I know even better how hard it is to be like a huge channel, which I am not. Wouldn't stay at 2,000 subscribers, slowly falling because I don't update the channel enough and I don't play games people want to see. But we'll get to that too. Right now, this is the past of the channel. So, anyway, talking about, I thought I could, where I got started, I thought I could be a pretty good Black Ops commentator. And to a point, I think I was. I actually look back on my Call of Duty Black Ops stuff very fondly. Of course, like everyone, my first piece of equipment was an HD Hauppauge PVR. The same thing all the big commentators used for their COD gameplays, at least at the time. Now there's a whole bunch of products on the market. This gameplay commentary thing's been blown wide open with next-gen consoles promising the ability to upload to YouTube and stuff like that. So the new YouTube, social media, creating your own content thing has really got to the point where there's so many channels. When I first started doing my Dark Souls stuff hard, I can safely say there were not a lot of big Dark Souls channels. There were Dark Souls people, but a lot of them are re-uploads and still are re-uploads. Not a whole lot of original content, certainly far less commentary. So I thought, I could maybe get a niche in the market. And I think to a point I did, and my Dark Souls work is still my proudest work. But we'll get to that too. So I was going to do a Call of Duty channel. I didn't have a lot of money, I still don't, but I had even less money back then, so I basically wiped out 2 weeks of, it was about 3 weeks pay. 3 weeks pay to buy my HD PVR, and I had to buy a new Xbox, which wiped out my savings too, because my other Xbox red-ringed, go figure, and got all that hooked up, and out came the Call of Duty Black Ops, and baby, I love commentating that game. I still would. Really, I'd still love to go back to doing Call of Duty Black Ops, but it's dated, and I'm 15th Prestige, and the game just got stale. Even the best games will get stale eventually. I don't think a true game is lasting forever so much as forever holding a place in your memory is. Like, that was really time well spent. Like, I look back at a lot of games and all the hours I put in it, and I was like, that was a lot of fun, but probably could have done something better. When I look back at, like, Call of Duty Black Ops and the Dark Souls and Demon Souls even, it's like, that was time well spent. The original StarCraft, time well spent. I could go on of all these games that have impacted me. Of course, Xenogears, the old school, like, the game that defined me as a gamer in some way that I haven't quite able to describe, but that's where I got started. I was on a crappy $30 Logitech headset. My commentary sounded like poo, but also, to be fair, back then, not a lot of commentators were rocking really high quality headsets. I mean, if I went through 200 COD videos on YouTube, probably only 30 had nice headsets, and another 30 had in between. Everybody else had junk headsets, so I was right on par with everybody else. It's just my gameplay was a little better, and I didn't sound like I was 12. So I guess I thought I could do it. In retrospect, I never should have done any of those commentaries without a legitimate microphone like I have today. I love this microphone. I use a Yeti, a Blue Yeti, like everyone else, and fantastic. I don't see myself upgrading anytime in the near future. Anyway, we're going to move right along here, and sort of the next big thing was, after Call of Duty Black Ops finally got old, and the channel hadn't really grown much, because when you're trying to do COD, even if you're a good COD player and you've got decent commentary, or even good commentary, it is the most saturated market of all time. Kind of a complicated thing to complicate, because it has the most hopeful viewers, but also the most saturated market, and because so many people play it, and the game has a lot of like that BS factor where there's just like bullcrap that permeates Call of Duty, it can be really frustrating to put out good, consistent gameplay, even more frustrating to try to interact with your community on COD, basically all of which call you out for anything. You're either camping too much, or you're resting too much, or you're using too good guns, or you're using boring guns. Whatever it may be, the COD community is essentially not a real community. And I'm a member of COD, I play COD adamantly, and let me tell you, Call of Duty does not have a real community. There is no intellectual discussions. You log in, You basically lone wolf it unless you're playing with a bunch of friends, which is anytime you're playing with all friends, the game's a completely different game. So I'm talking about when I analyze games from them. I am playing solo. And that's another good real talk topic I'm going to do later, which is playing with friends versus playing with pubs in any game. And that completely changes the way a game is analyzed, and I'm going to talk a lot about that because I've got good experiences with both. I think a lot of gamers out there really are kind of on one side or the other. They always play with their friends or they play alone. And you really need to do both to get a true gambit of the game's design characteristics and the quality and things like that. So once Black Ops finally bit it, and the channel hadn't grown anyway, so well, I got nothing to lose, no subscribers gained, no subscribers lost. I said I was going to do a silent playthrough of Armored Core 4 Answer because I'm a huge advocate of the old Armored Core games, and I had not bought a next-gen Armored Core game because I thought Armored Core 4 looked kind of awful. But I saw 4 Answer on sale for like $15, and I was like, let's go. So I bought Armored Core 4 Answer and uploaded probably 3/4 the game, delivering decent gameplay on normal mode. The eventual plan was to go back and do all of Armored Core 4 Answer on hard mode, upload that, and frankly, the Armored Core games have a lot of missions, and there's a lot of duos going for S ranks, and Armored Core is the kind of game where beating the mission is not an achievement. Beating it and getting S rank is always the goal, and S is of course the highest rank on a mission. Ranks were delivered based on performance in a variety of categories. And I got tired of trying to chase S ranks. The tragedy is, over the years, I've gotten all S ranks on 4 Answer, on all missions, on all difficulties, just kind of tinkering around with it over the months. But I never recorded me doing it, and I'm definitely not going back and doing it again. Then I was going to put Armored Core 5 up years later in its legacy, but Armored Core 5, in my opinion, is the worst Armored Core ever made, so even worse than Ninebreaker for Armored Core fans out there, so that was never going to happen and still never will. And I got into the Dark Souls immediately after that, which was definitely the golden age of this channel, where I went from 200 subscribers to 3,000 subscribers. I mean, it was glorious, and 3,000 subscribers isn't some huge number. It means a lot to go from 300 to 3,000. When you look at YouTube channels, most don't survive at all, and the fact that I'm still functioning in some capacity brings me a great deal of pride. So I owe a lot to the Dark Souls games. Love it. Go Dark Souls. And I uploaded it for a long time. One thing I noticed about my Dark Souls videos, I uploaded primarily player versus engine, PvE over PvP, and most people want to see the PvP, but when you talk about a channel that has a tremendous amount of archival footage of player versus engine, this is actually still, I think, a deciding and prevailing channel for it. I think this is an excellent Dark Souls resource channel. I think that there's a lot to see there. There's good commentary. I mean, I don't measure up to the legend of Epic Name Bro. Never tried to. Is actually an inspiration to me. I say that because Epic Name Bro's name comes up in almost all Dark Souls discussions on my channel. You are not Epic Name Bro. No, I am not, but I do commentate Dark Souls. So very grateful to the Dark Souls game, and it's definitely something I need to get back to in some capacity. It's just, you get to a point as a commentator, this happens to COD commentators all the time, where you just want to play something different, but it's really hard to get views and to get your die-hard audience to switch over. And I entered a period of sort of lost land mentality, where after Dark Souls I didn't know what to do with the channel. I was just so Dark Souled out. I probably had over 1,000 hours in that game, and I needed to play something else. I was like, well, maybe I'll play Demon Souls, because I have good memories of Demon Souls, but the transition from Dark Souls back to Demon Souls is tough. Not because Demon Souls is a bad game, but I just think that Dark Souls is probably the better game overall, and thus it's really hard to, you feel like you're like downgrading yourself. So I just go play Dark Souls, at least how I always felt. So Demon Souls was a short-lived experience on this channel. Then I bounced into sort of the fast and light stuff for a while, and there's only like 3 or 4 videos of. There'll probably be more fast and light stuff coming. It's just not there yet. But anyway, so there's like a fast and light period. And then of course we hit the short but still ongoing Dota 2 era, where I was trying to do my first bit at live comms, and I really like Dota 2. In fact, I still love Dota 2, although that game is the most rage-inducing game I've ever played, worse than COD even. So I was trying to put up some meaningful Dota 2 live comms, but Dota 2 is a very competitive game with a vast knowledge and skill set and all sorts of things to talk about, so it's like the best and worst game to commentate because it's even more intricate than Dark Souls, and as a result, it's very hard to be knowledgeable enough to deliver good content and to be familiar with it enough to bring it out as I play. You know, I know how every single hero works in Defense of the Ancients too. There is, you know, well over 100 heroes. I don't even know what the number's up to now, but I know how every single one of those heroes works. I know all their skills. Now, some of them I can't play very well, but I know how to play against them within reason, and that's a lot further than most players get, quite frankly. And I'm not tooting my own horn so much as I'm just acknowledging the game is just that hard. I'm still pretty newbie compared to people who are actually good at Defense of the Ancients. So, very competitive game and very hard to deliver meaningful live commentaries. It's something I'm going to continue working at. Commentary for Defense of the Ancients is staying on this channel. I know it's unpopular. I know no one cares about Defense of the Ancients, but it's not going away. I love playing it, and I'm going to compromise. Instead of only doing Defense of the Ancients, I'm going to do Defense of the Ancients in other games and try to sort of create a balance. And plus, there'll be a 2-month break from Defense of the Ancients anyway because, frankly, I don't have the internet to play it. Huge letdown, but that's the way it is.
Light 'em up.
That's the next big thing I'm going to talk about right now in the present, because that's pretty much the whole past of this channel, more or less. I mean, I'm omitting huge blocks of time and little occurrences like the TGN partnership and things like that, but they're just not relevant to you as a viewer so much as to me, and I'd rather break them out in sort of semi-smaller commentaries at another time. So let's talk about where I am right now, which is I'm now working at a flagship institution, which is something I didn't fully explain earlier. Flagship institutions in the world of higher education in the United States are normally the first institution in a state, usually among the most well-funded, usually recognized for excellence, things like that. They all kind of come hand in hand. So I currently work in South Dakota, at the flagship institution of South Dakota, and I'm just getting started there as a professional, and I'm on a 12-month contract, but the students are only on campus 10 months out of the year. So for 2 months out of the year, I come out to the Badlands and assist with a special program aimed at the development of Native Americans. It's basically Upward Bound for Native Americans is the program I currently participate in. It's called the Indian University Crazy Horse Program. You can Google it, look it up, check into it, see what it's all about. That's currently what I'm doing. I'm very proud to be doing it, but I'm still very new and struggling with all the nuances of the position. So I'll be doing that for 2 months, and then I'll be back on main campus where I have reasonable internet that I can easily upload a YouTube gameplay or game online at least 3 nights a week, and I'll have regular hours for once, no more night shift through graduate school and stuff like that. I'm now done with school for the next couple of years. Now I'm going to go back and get my PhD eventually, but right now I'm just happy with my master's. I'm going to calm down, take some time to myself, and gameplay commentary is going to be a big time of that. So that's where we are. We're in this 2-month lapse before I can really lay into this channel and start building it up like I want to. This channel has been on my mind since I got out of graduate school, but I just had too many things to do because life has to come before hobbies. Always. Life has to come before hobbies. And when I got out of graduate school, I needed to find a job, buy a new car because my one was dying, buy some new hardware because some stuff on my computer failed. Then when I took a job in South Dakota, I had to move all my stuff 17 hours away from all my friends and family and stuff like that, and basically start a new life with this job. And that's where I am right now. And the YouTube channel has been on my mind ever since. And sometimes you have to not do something for a while to realize how much you really like it. And that's kind of what happened with Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and this channel, Armored Core Friends. When I look back on a lot of things that made on this YouTube channel, they were excellent choices. I'm very glad I did them. I'm very glad I started the YouTube channel. And as a result, I don't want to let it die, and I don't want to let it go away. But I also don't want to let it become sort of all-consuming, like projects like YouTube that have no end. A YouTube channel, unless you close it, has continual upkeep and goes on forever. And in my case, it does not generate you any significant revenue. I know my videos are monetized, but as of now, I've made less than $100 on every YouTube video I've ever done. That's over probably 1,500 hours, definitely more than that. Who knows how many hours, but thousands of hours of work and time and dollars invested into setting up this channel, and the returns have been very limited. So it's definitely a hobby. I do it for fun, and thus I don't always have time to just throw everything away and work on my YouTube stuff. But now that I have regular hours, no more night shift jobs, no more homework all night long, no more grinding out through grad school. I can have regular hours and I get off work at 5 p.m. and I can game for 3 hours and then put up a YouTube video out of that, and then go out and get some food, just do all the things a person wants to do with their lives without always feeling like they're late for an appointment. I spent the last 2 years of my life looking at clocks being late for appointments, not because I was irresponsible, because there was just that much going on. And the worst thing is, when I look back on it, there's so much going on with so little importance. So it's kind of my psychotherapy on myself right there. Any event, I regret nothing. I'm very happy with where I'm in my life, but I'm in a big adjustment phase. So after 2 months, when I'm settled in back on my regular apartment on the main campus, you know, with my desktop and with decent internet, and you know, then this channel's really going to pick up. And so this commentary has always, you know, gone on, and I'd be surprised if I've actually kept my audience. So I'm going to sort of wrap this up and tell everyone where we're going to conclude. So the future of this channel is, I'd like to get to 3 uploads a week, and the reason I say 3 instead of 5 is I could probably manage 5 these days. Is I want 3 quality uploads, like well-made thumbnails. Actually, I like my current thumbnails, so thumbnails of at least that quality. You know, I want good interaction with people commenting on these videos, so I have to budget time for the upkeeps on the videos that get uploaded. Because since this channel is not a huge channel, it's not about views, it's about engagement. Now, YouTube and analysts will tell you it's always about engagement, which I think to a point is true, but if you're a mega commentator, I think it's more about views and likes and things like growing your channel. So that is my next big thing, is to get on my engagement back up. And so, you know, we're looking at 3 uploads a week. I don't know the exact schedule yet, but I definitely have something I'm envisioning in my mind. So 3 uploads a week. I'm kind of thinking I want to do 1 live commentary a week for variety, 1 quote-unquote real talk commentary a week, and then 1 sort of a random, hopefully about gameplay, depending on the games I'm commentating. Definitely something I can sort of commentate the actual gameplay, so I can hit all facets of a YouTube channel, which is, you know, real talk stuff outside of gaming, then stuff, you know, related to gaming but not live, and then live gameplay or live anything, you know. So I want to hit all the facets of, you know, a YouTube channel, like I said, and that's why I need 3 uploads a week. Engage with anything, bonus uploads from now and again, miss an upload now and again. We'll play it by ear, but I want to make promises I can keep to my audience. So think of this as like a 2-month renovation. If this is a theater, you know, we're going through a renovation. We can only show a couple pictures a week, but after that, we're going to show 3 pictures a week with, you know, digital screens and high def and sweet seats and budget popcorn and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Bad analogy, but that's basically where we're going. And you know, I am in South Dakota now, so it's a different environment. I'm going to try to not pick up the accent. If anybody hears me picking up an accent, tell me in the comments and I will work on it, because I don't want that South Dakota accent. I don't think it's going to be the state I spend the rest of my life in. And last, I want to talk about some upcoming games for this channel. I would like to finish up the Let's Play an Archer series from Dark Souls. I think that the Archer series was something people were really looking forward to, and I never finished the Archer stuff. I think it was a big letdown for a lot of people. I don't know if that Archer series is going to just become like a named character playthrough, like the original Ellie playthrough, which is still my favorite Dark Souls playthrough ever. I just named the character and just became the Ellie series. It was kind of branding, and it wasn't the best for bringing new people into the videos, but I really think it kept people coming back. So, and that's what's more important to me, is keeping the audience, not building the audience. And I think if you can keep your audience, you'll get steady growth, and that's always my goal, is not to become explosively huge, but just to steadily grow. I don't know if I'm ever going to do Dark Souls PvP again, at least not hardcore, because frankly it annoys me. I love Dark Souls PvP, but I've played enough of it. I've used all the major weapons, and as much PvP as I've uploaded, far more has never been uploaded, and there's been some heartbreakers and some real frustrating moments with the Dark Souls community. So that's my big piece on Dark Souls. I know that's the game people are always wondering about, so that's why I started with that. When Dark Souls 2 comes out, I am going to upload that entire game just like Dark Souls. It's going to be a whole nother, Dark Souls 2 is going to be a whole nother over 1,000 hours of uploads to YouTube. I'm positive, providing YouTube still exists and I can legally upload it, depending on how laws in the United States change, because the United States is crazy about copyright. Dota 2 is going to continue. I want to do at least a Dota a week, if not, you know, a Dota every other week. And if Dota has to, it's a game I personally am committed to playing good at, to being current at, and staying in, and thus you have to play it. Dota is the kind of game where you can't play it like once a month. I mean, you know, your skills will be reduced dramatically, and it's going to be a big uphill battle after these 2 months without Dota, so I need to get back into Dota. So Dota's going to keep being on this channel. You know, don't like it, don't watch it, you won't hurt my feelings, but, you know, I don't need the comments and messages saying, dude, why are you still playing Dota? I play Dota because I want to play it. I upload the games I want to play. I would be lying if I say the audience doesn't have something to do with that, but with that said, you know, sometimes I like to watch some of my old gameplay, not necessarily with the commentary. I love watching the For Answer stuff without commentary because For Answer is a sweet game with a cool atmosphere. Anyway, I want to do more Faster Than Light. I think it's a very skill-intensive game. I think it raises good thought questions. I think it's a thinking man's game, and I like thinking man's games. I'm considering maybe trying to learn MechWarrior Online. I've heard mixed reviews, so if anyone has thoughts about MechWarrior Online, that is the next online game I'm thinking of bringing to this channel. I am a founder. I dropped like the $200-some almost a year ago, maybe more, to become a founder on MechWarrior Online, so I should probably cash that in, and if anybody wants to stay on this YouTube channel, let me know. Maybe thinking about some Skyrim and some Morrowind. You know, I definitely think about bringing more single-player games back to this channel because I like single-player games. So my voice is sore and I'm pretty tired right now. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning. I've got to be up at 8, so I should probably wrap things up. For those of you that have sat through this whole commentary, I appreciate it. At the time it's being recorded, I didn't even have a game recorded to put over the commentary, so hopefully the people watching this will find some sort of inspiration. And for those of you that have been watching this channel, thank you for sticking with me. I'm glad you love my content, or at the bare minimum like it. And in any event, if you're willing to wait this long, maybe what's 2 months more to really pick it up. So I'd like to thank everyone once again for watching, and this is The Enthusiast signing out. Everyone have a good night, and talk to you next week.